Everybody else is heading into the village. There's the White House. I'm actually going to do the cliffs after all. I wasn't going to, but I've decided I can fit that in before the beloved gets here and we sit down to a lovely lunch in the sun. So here's the visual evidence to my story of one of my stories in One Foot in the Grave about Captain Headley, who was a tenant of Jettu at the end of '58. But in 1962, he and a friend, Attenborough, took a boat from Jettu there to go the 500 metres to Herm, Rosaire Steps, currently under high water. And this is where the boat overturned. They went out to sea, then they ended up going all the way up and down the east coast to the north of Herm overnight. Attenborough unfortunately let go of the boat at midnight and fell away and sadly drowned. Captain Headley hung on to that boat until 8 in the morning, when a boat going from Guernsey to Sark found him and saved him. He wouldn't have lasted much longer than that. There's our boat going back to Guernsey. There's Jettu. Okay, brace yourself, Jackie. Here goes the steps to the start of the cliffs. Best foot forward. You turn the cliff corner, so this must be southeast of Herm. You can see Sark in the distance there. More boats going back and to, and who wouldn't on a glorious day like today? Okay, so I'm somewhere on the east coast, even though I've got a fabulous map with me. There's Jettu, and there's even the south coast of Guernsey down there. Yeah, difficult to tell because there aren't actually many signs in Herm. Lots of boats back and to. What a fabulous day for that. So we've got Sark over there. We even got Breccu. You can't see it separately as an island so much from this angle. There you go. We won't say any more about that. Morning. Lots of bird watching going on. There's a lot of sea life bird watching out here. But at least I'm in a safe place here where I haven't actually dropped my phone in the sea over the boat yet. There's my map. Trying to pinpoint my location by the rocks, but of course, depending on whether the tide is in or out, the rocks look so different. I noticed from here, there's a cute little bay. We've actually got very good looks like a good view of Alderney up there today. What am I looking at? Right up at the top there. Excellent. Don't know if you hear the gulls shrieking down there. Gulls, shags. Yes, I did say shags. Not great on the others. Okay, it's a little flatter as we get up to the east now. So Belvoir Bay is tucked away in there, and the far tip of sandy beach you can see there is Shell Beach. You can still see Alderney to the north. What a beautiful view down to Belvoir Bay. Look at the colour of that sea. And I bet you're jealous now, we're all COVID free. I'm not going to carry on from Belvoir Bay through to the north of the island for a change. I'm actually going to take the route up and then try and come down the spine to the middle of the north. That'll be a first. So, up over the middle. I'm not saying it wasn't without its effort, and I'm not giving you a selfie for that reason, because I'm all hot and bothered. But here we go. So I've come up to the manor village and I'm going to turn right down the spine, which will take me right down the middle of the north. What a perfect day. Such a good choice to come to Herm. However, I had quite forgotten how much a woman of advanced years tends to glow, perspire, alright, sweat. So I shall possibly find myself in the village stores buying something new before I meet Alex, otherwise I will be a sodden, dripping, sweaty mess. So I've come down from the middle there, and this is the common that we walk across to get to Shell Beach. Once a golf course actually back in the 1920s. And look what we have here, we have a Neolithic passage grave. However, the name Robert's Cross actually was the name of a favourite horse of the Wood family. There are some genuine mounds here though. A little old Guernsey out there again, to the west. Now, as you know, I'm often drawn to a cemetery. This cemetery here has a couple of tiny gravestones, and one of them says here, in memory of someone who was aged 2 and somebody else was 33. This is a replacement, and one story goes that actually there were 2 sailors off a ship, and that 2 should read 22, and they were cholera victims and they weren't allowed in Guernsey. Kind of find that hard to believe, because at the end of the day Guernsey had plenty of cholera victims. However, we'll see. So the first beach around here is called Bears Beach. So called because the children of the Wood family like to bring their teddy bears down to play back in the 50s and 60s. There's some oyster beds out there, and then we'll have Fisherman's Beach. So there we go, Bears Beach. As we can see, the tide's right out now. What time are we? 12:15. So the chances are the next boat in will be landing at Rosaire Steps and not the harbour. As you can see, the harbour now is quite inaccessible. So, heading into the village now to look a little less flushed. So, when the Woods started developing in Herm Island, they got the lease at the end of the 40s. So, by the 50s and 60s, they developed this piazza area. So called because they were on holiday in Italy one year, up in the mountains somewhere, and they got to talking to a local man. And they asked him if he knew of any builders who would be prepared to come over and do some work. Well, not only did he pack up and go back with them, brought all his friends, so practically half a village of Italian men came over, and they did all this building work for the piazza and the little shopping area, and helped renovate some of the old cottages into self-catering. We love this shopping area. In fact, we even come over on Boxing Day and pre-Christmas shopping days. Those are steps at low tide. And 2 bottles of wine later. Here's hoping I don't fall over.